It's been a long await to be here back at my school of many, many years ago to receive this honor. I want to thank the Alumni Association and to thank any of those of you who had something to do with this award. So I'd like to say thank you to my chair, Earl Davidson, who nominated me for this award. And there's so many people that stand with me for this award and who showed this I stand on for this award, that I would be remiss if I not to mention who they are and their meaning of helping me to be at this spot right now. So bear with me as I recognize some of these people. First, I want to thank God, from whom all blessings flow, whom I get my purpose and my passion from to do the service that I do, as many of you do. And then I would like to thank my ancestors of many, many diversities. I'm Chinese American, Native American, European American, and African American ancestries. My parents, who were a part of the ancestors, Theodore and Madeline Cook. And I'm the third child of their 5 children. My 2 sisters are here, Ella Cook and Claudia McKay. I'd like to thank them. I'd like to thank my husband of 48 years, who's here and supported me along this mission. My daughter, Jennie Trotter, thank you, and her partner, Jaron. I have 9 grandchildren. I turned 70 last month. I don't know if you knew that. I have 9 children, grandchildren that are here. I have 2 that are graduating today. My oldest grandson is graduating today, and one of my middle granddaughters are graduating today with honors. I'm so thankful. My oldest granddaughter, Yasri, is here, and my youngest grandson, Moses, is here from California. So I have a lot to be thankful for. And let me tell you about my path as I walk it to be at this place right now, and give thanks for so many of you that are here to support me and came. I started on this path many years ago when I attended a Catholic high school, elementary school in Brooklyn, New York. My father was Catholic, so I grew up in an Italian neighborhood. And my mother was Protestant, so we went to the Protestant neighborhood on Sunday, and I got a great mix of different religious backgrounds. And then from there, in my Catholic school, when I was even reflecting today on the plane, I have my elementary friends, all my elementary school friends that are here, St. Benedict, Sheila here, raise your hand. So I have a cadre of friends that are here. But it was at that school in the 6th grade that I met Zenobia Greer. Up until that time, I did not believe in myself. Zenobia entered the school as a foreigner because all of us who lived in the neighborhood, all the families knew one another. The difference about her and me, I was the lowest in my class. She came in as a 6th grader, a top A student, but she befriended me. And in her befriendment to me, I saw myself being like her. I not only saw myself, I wanted to be like her. So I did whatever I had to do to pull myself up in all of my grades to graduate at the top of my class in the 8th grade because of Ronnie, Zenobia Greer, who later became a nun. It was also the belief in my 8th grade teacher that I should succeed because I was not a good test taker. I did not do well at all. And when I took my 8th grade test, even though I had great grades, I failed miserably. But that nun, Sister Apollonia, she got on the phone and called all the Catholic schools. She said, she is not her test. She's much more than that. You need to meet her, interview her, and see. The faith that she spoke, I mean, in me, you know, who was I? Who was I to her? Just another black student in the black community and stuff. But she spoke for me from her heart. And when I heard her words, when I went to the Catholic school that accepted me based on her words, I became on the principal's list, the whole school, because I was honoring the words that she spoke. And I did not want her to be saddened or be, whatever the word is, not to be proud of me. So I honored her and did that for the years that I did until I transferred because the nuns wanted me to become a Catholic nun, and I that was a little bit too much for me. So I had to go. I had to go over to the public school. It was okay. That was a great experience too. I kept my my grades up, and even though I got chased by the principal, he didn't know. One teacher nominated me to be the vice president in my senior year. I said, "How did that happen?" I ran for the vice presidency, received it, and within 2 months of my senior year, our president got impeached because he was on vacation too long, and by forfeit, I became the president of Eastern District High School. Wow, I wasn't even trying. But the teachers believed in me as well, and I was just so touched. So it was this, I don't know, I have some of my high school friends are here. If they're here, there they are. They're Eastern District, Tony, where they're at. They all shaped me to go to City College of New York, which was the greatest experience of my life. They're all great experience. That's when we got together as students in the 60s. If you weren't in school in the 60s, you missed so much in terms of our advocacy. You missed it. It was the time to be alive, not only in music, but the changes that we were making. A group of us, 125 of us, took over City College and closed it down, and we had 10 demands. 10 demands. One of them was for open admission, not only for the grades, for everyone. We also wanted our representation of African and Puerto Rican department and teachers on that campus. So we won. We battled there. I don't know how many of you, maybe in my age group, may know what happened. We renamed City College Harlem University. Some of those students are here. When we took over the school. These are the things that shaped my life as I was coming up. And as I graduated from City College, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I definitely was I basically had this energy to change the world. And with that, Eileen Penn Howell said to me, "Why don't you go to Bank Street? You would like it." I was like, "What's that?" Oh my goodness, Bank Street, what kind of college is that? That's what I get from Georgia and other places when they read my resume. Bank Street, you sure, Mrs. Trotter? Yes, it's Bank Street, not State, it's Bank Street. Is it a college? People who don't know Bank Street don't know it. People who know Bank Street, they know it. They know you well. Your reputation has exceeded you. It's all over. People who know the innovation and the kind of things that Bank Street stands for and continues to do for children all over the world. So I'm so honored to be here to represent and to say to you, so after City College and stuff, we graduated, we did great things there. I went on to Atlanta and wanted to change the world down there. And my advocacy came out there within a housing apartment that we were in. We saw that there wasn't enough security. So of course, I advocated, and we had a group, and we basically, went to the tenant associations, and we said, we have these demands. Within 2 months, I was evicted. That's okay. They heard us. Unfortunately, they didn't heed to the word, but they heard us. So later on in 1980, Atlanta had its greatest crisis, and those of you who might know, we had the most terrible crisis ever, the Atlanta Missing and Murdered Children's Crisis, where over 29 children, males and females, all African American, were found murdered, abducted, and killed. I wouldn't go into whatever happened and who they blamed, whatever, but at that time it was my prayer from graduating from school and counseling. I came to Bank Street in counseling and education, was what can I do? What can I do? How could I help? How could I be of service? And through an interview with the Mental Health Center, I was able to get a job as a clinical educator and also trainer. And it was our job, how do we make stress education that comes to children in a form in which they can understand it? And that's when I used my Bank Street innovative teaching. How do you teach children? We did it at Georgia State University. They had a class for gifted and talent. Then I went over to Spelman, and I said, you use your senses. What do you touch? What do you see? Use your body. We made up songs about stress. I made a stress rap. Your body changes with stress. STRESS happy, sad, scared, or mad. Your body changes with stress. We did this, and, we wanted to do more. They said the teachers came back. The parents said that the children had never been through a stress education program, said how much it helped them. So what do? You have to do more. And then as we did more, it was like, write a grant. Write a grant? What is that? I'm not in English. I don't write grants. Just write a grant and take it to a school, because that's where they're stressed at, and that's where they need it. So I wrote a grant with the help of my husband and stuff, who was in journalism and English. He had all all of the dots and I's and all the corrected English, where to put it. We wrote a grant, not knowing, and received it. And I went to the largest school system in Fulton County and asked if they would have this grant. And I made a mistake. I didn't go to the superintendent. I didn't know the protocol. And the superintendent said, well, you didn't, the politics within school. You didn't come to me, so, when it comes up for a vote, I'm going to vote against you. But somebody told me how to play politics. They said, speak to the board members. Speak to the board members who know the children, who know where the service is needed. And then for the first time, this board member, I had never been in the school system. And at the first board meeting of the year, when the superintendent brought up to vote this proposal down that I wrote called Project Stress Control, to teach children in elementary school how to deal with stress, the board superintendent voted against it, and all the board members voted for it. It was like, who is this lady? Get her out of here. That program went on to meet more and more needs. I then connected with Gloria Elder here, who is a graduate of Spelman College in the field of early education. We combined our heads and our talents together to develop the program, Preschool Stress Relief Program for Children, where we worked with Head Start children and their parents and their children. And we designed a whole program about stress, talking about what I did with elementary school was something, the preschool, oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. Your body changes with stress. S-T-R-E-S-S, happy, sad, scared, or mad, your body changes with stress, dun, dun, dun. We did it around substance abuse prevention. We told SAMHSA, Substance Abuse Agency, that if we can show children early on how to deal with stress and keep those coping skills going, work with their parents, work with their communities, we could reduce their onset of drug prevention, of drug involvement. And they brought it. And that program later on received the SAMHSA Award. So we continue to do the Institute right now. We have 17 programs. We have a staff of over 20. All of our programs are teaching stress education holistically through, and I came up with this coin. It's there's 3 words that you can remember, because when I looked at organization that was doing things about helping people live longer and survive in a holistic life, the word is P. What I found, all the programs that were teaching people how to live longer was PEM. So it's a PEM, whatever you want to do it. P, positive thinking, help people live longer. The E was for 3 things: eating, diet, also exercise, and the other E was emotional release in terms of forgiving. And the M was for meditation. That's what I do within Qigong. And we know the people who holistically embrace these things live a lot longer. So that's our field of education, because I haven't been in the classroom, but I teach a lot of teachers. I had no idea. I was always really skeptical about being in the classroom. I never felt I was good enough to be a teacher, but I wind up teaching teachers and developing curriculums and videos and audio stuff. So the gift was giving back to the teachers who have the highest stress, teaching them first, having them teach their children, and being here today to tell you, thank you, Bank Street, because you've inspired all the work that I do. And I'm so honored, and I'm so glad to be here to accept your award. Good day.